We were born to make history.
Costco cab, everybody, $10 a box. I'm not a red wine gal, but this slaps. Also, apologies for the sunburn. I went to a Renaissance fair a couple days ago and got scorched through my corset. Although you likely will be seeing some Asian glow later in this video. So, if you haven't heard by now, the Yuri on Ice movie, Ice Adolescence, which was first announced in April 2017 and in production since, has been cancelled. What the f is happening, man? I thought we were born to make history, damn it! This is the official statement by MAPPA, the studio that produced it. They've also worked on shows such as Attack on Titan, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, just to name a few little ones. Regarding the postponed release of Yuri on Ice, the movie Ice Adolescence, we have come to the decision to unfortunately cancel its production. The production committee and staff have been in constant discussions to create and to deliver the movie, but due to various circumstances, we have had to make the difficult decision to stop the production. The movie was originally slated to be released in 2019, then was pushed back to 2020. But after years of being put on ice due to the pandemic, fans wondering what on earth was going on, more on that in a sec because we're still scratching our heads a bit there, we finally got our answer, practically 7 years later on the dot. What was Ice Adolescence supposed to be about exactly? While we don't know the finer details and likely never will, we do know that it was set to be a prequel showcasing Victor's youth in his teendom and his rise into skating world fame. Before he met Yuri, how he became a multi-gold medal darling, but also chronicling his emotional journey and what exactly was going on in that gorgeous long-haired head of his. The timeline of events from its initial announcement to its many hiatuses to its eventual cancellation goes as follows. On April 29th, 2017, at the Yuri on Stage event, it was announced that Ice Adolescence was in production. And then, roughly a year later, on March 23rd, 2018, at Anime Japan, the AVEX booth was promoting the movie, and it said completely new original movie in production, featuring some of our favorite skaters, Odebek, Pachit, Yuri, other Yuri, JJ, Chris, and Victor. A couple months after that, in May 2018, it was revealed that the voice cast was starting recording sessions and production for the soundtrack had also begun. And then a couple months after that, in July 2018, at the Yuri on Concert event, it was revealed that the official name of the Yuri on Ice movie was Ice Adolescence. We got this nice promo poster of Victor walking out onto a snowy beach with Makachin. Then, radio silence. We didn't really have any official news for the release date at that point, just that it had been pushed back and it was set to release in 2020. Everyone was kind of like twiddling their thumbs at that point, and then COVID happened. Everything was getting pushed back, understandably so. But then on November 26th, 2020, we finally got our first look with this trailer. The hype was back, people were screaming, fans were like, Yuri on Ice is alive and well, and then
at last the roof goes on, and nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong!
A big whoop of nothing for years after that. There was a re-release of History Maker in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. We also got some art for the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics, but by October 2022, Ice Adolescence was no longer appearing in MAPPA's Coming Soon section of their website. Yeah. Cut to our most recent news, Ice Adolescence has officially been cancelled. Production has ceased, it's gone bye-bye. And with its cancellation, it's pretty much confirmation that any future Yuri on Ice projects like a Season 2 or animated shorts like Welcome to the Madness and the like are not going to happen, at least through MAPPA. If it also wasn't evident, I'm a little distraught. Be my coach, Victor! Oh, Jesus Christ, the wine's already making me more red. I think we all knew deep down after a certain point it just wasn't going to happen, it wasn't in the cards, but having the reality of it slammed in your face and killing any and all hope, it sucks. It really freaking sucks. This all kind of feels like the ever-elusive, fabled Season 2 of Goron High School Host Club. It's like Regatsby, and Ice Adolescence is that green light forever just out of our reach. Farewell, Ice Adolescence. We will never know Victor's sad past. When my kids ask me what happened to Yuri on Ice Adolescence. The Ice Adolescence cancellation gets to take the #1 spot for top 10 anime betrayals, to be honest. I'm not shutting up about my disappointment for Ice Adolescence anytime anytime soon. Ice Adolescence Cancelled? I did not have Ice Adolescence in my reasons to stay alive list for 7 years for MAPPA to do this. Can MAPPA just release what they have of Ice Adolescence? I'll finish the movie myself, oh my god. Congratulations to Ice Adolescence for being the only anime movie to have been cancelled after being announced 7 friggin' years ago. Ice Adolescence has officially been cancelled by MAPPA. Myself back on! Yuri on Ice, Ice Adolescence, you will forever be famous. Ice Adolescence was cancelled. Please check in on your mentally unstable gay friends, they need you now. The cancellation of the Yuri on Ice, Ice Adolescence movie is so brutal. Genuinely wish I never watched that anime and hyperfixated on it like I did. 7 years of waiting for nothing. Taylor, can you be quiet for a second? Ice Adolescence just got cancelled. Wait, Ice Adolescence is lost media? This is a crime! You've taken something from me I may never recover from. RIP Ice Adolescence, April 2017 to April 2024. You deserved better. Holy f***. The post announcing it got ratioed to sh**. Just sell the rights to another studio. Why even reveal a trailer and constantly push back Yoi release dates? Stringing fans along for nearly 8 years only to do this just shows how disingenuous MAPPA is to their fans. I hope future animations decide against working with them. My villain arc begins! Please just sell the rights to another anime studio, MAPPA. Please let us get Yuri on Ice from someone who actually cares. Burn MAPPA down, 7 years. Sell the rights to a studio that will actually use it. We've been teased with Ice Adolescence for 7 years. Ice Adolescence. I'm gonna get real sappy and sentimental here for a bit. You're welcome to join me in reminiscing, but if you want to go ahead and skip to the part where we discuss why Ice Adolescence was cancelled, the potential causes, and speculation floating around, then feel free to go to this timestamp. Yuri on Ice came out in 2016, which was my sophomore year of college, and I'll never forget the feeling of awe that just blossomed in my gut when I saw the trailer for the first time. I did ballet for roughly 20 years, which has a lot of overlap with figure skating, and my mom's a big fan of figure skating as a sport, and so I grew up watching a lot of it with her, and so even though I'm a big fan of sports anime as a genre, like with Haikyuu, Yorumushi Pedal, Diamond no Ace, Free, Yuri on Ice had such a personal touch to it that really resonated with me. Hearing the swell of the music and seeing the gorgeous costumes and the dynamic movements going with the music, I was like, oh, this is the anime I've been waiting for. And it was. It really was. Sophomore year of college for me was a rough time. I was trying to figure out what the hell I wanted to do with my life, and classes were kicking my ass, and a family member got sick and unfortunately passed away. So yeah, your girl was going through it, and Yuri on Ice every week was like that light at the end of the tunnel going, it'll be okay, just last one more week, you got this, Yuri and Victor will be there for you. I'm getting a little emotional just thinking about it. At the time, I was really resonating with Yuri and his struggle of, okay, I'm gonna be past my prime in no time, should I keep skating or should I pivot to something else? What am I gonna do? And then hard cut to Victor's bare ass being like, Yuri, starting today, I'm going to be your new coach. I remember making Katsudan for the first time after I did well on a midterm, and I made it with some friends, and it was so good. It felt like victory in a bowl, and since victory in a bowl, literally. And for the next couple of years, every time I felt really proud of myself for doing well on a test, I would try to make some Katsudan. And then, of course, episode 7 completely broke the fandom world. The video of me and some of my friends reacting to the Victory kiss was kind of the first video on my channel that really blew up. I cried during the finale and Victory's pair skate, and Yuri on Ice kind of became a show where I would rewatch it with my closest friends. Whenever one of them would be like, oh, I've never seen Yuri on Ice, I'd be like, okay, watch this with me. I love it so much. It means a lot. You'll love it too, I promise. And they always would. And that love has still persisted over the years. To this day, some of my favorite fanfics of all time are Yuri on Ice fics. I cameoed in Shape's anime video, asking him to talk about Yuri on Ice. And I'm making my girl Ordinary Dreamer, Nadia, friend of the show, you've seen her a bunch of times already, watch and react to Yuri on Ice with me because she has never seen it. Oh my god, and the English dub? Honestly iconic. It was so funny. They didn't have to go that hard for it, but they did, and I appreciate it immensely. Don't even get me started on some of the iconic fandom moments, guys. The scene where Yuri pokes Victor's head and he's like, oh, am I losing my hair? Am I getting old? Everyone was freaking out because they thought Victor had some sort of terminal illness and was dying. People were doing frame-by-frame analyses to see if it was actually a kiss or just a super enthusiastic hug. Yes, it was confirmed to be a kiss, if the close-up on the lips and the eyes closing weren't any indication. There were all these goofy screenshots of the characters in motion that were giggled at and used as reaction images, the non-stop Yaoi on fire jokes. It was also really funny seeing people hop from the Yuri on Ice fandom to the Banana Fish fandom because MAPPA also produced that anime, and people were like, oh my god, I just finished Yuri on Ice and Banana Fish is coming out. I could just get into this. It's another gay romance anime. And then, oh, cut the onion, sweetie. And then you got to the not so great parts of people getting weird towards real skaters and saying they should leave their real life partners because they're like Victor and Yuri and they should get together instead. It was constantly trending on Tumblr. When Welcome to the Madness came out, it collectively flopped the fandom. It was certainly a time, and even though it could get really crazy and there were some not so great parts of the fandom, I feel very fortunate that I was able to be a part of that fandom experience in real time. But even though Ice Adolescence is no longer happening, we as the fandom, we're still here. It's a lot smaller than it used to be, given that the anime is not really trendy anymore, but I mean, the diehard fans were not going anywhere. But there lies the big question. Why did the movie get canceled? Just want to put it out there that a lot of this is mere speculation, just because for the official announcement, we only got that it was canceled due to various circumstances. But Yuri on Ice, despite being a global sensation, met with acclaim and an international audience raving about it, was not profitable to MAPPA. Apparently, it did not make the studio a lot of money. Despite its viral success, crashing Crunchyroll, bringing in numerous awards, being named as one of the top 25 anime of the 2010s, selling over 50,000 Blu-rays in its first week alone, and having countless merchandise being sold around the world, how and why could Yuri on Ice not bring in the dough? Well, according to MAPPA's CEO, very little of the money Yuri on Ice made actually went to the studio itself, due to MAPPA involving other production companies and overseeing and financing the show in order to lessen risk, which in turn each took hefty chunks of its profits and left MAPPA with a very small slice of the pie at the end of the day. Avex apparently took the majority of the profits. MAPPA, evidently learning from this experience, has since ceased this practice and has been switching to be an in-house production committee. And while it is a gamble in that the studio stands to take a hit if they're the sole source of funds for a project and then that project flops, they've been able to make some major profits with many of their bigger shows, such as Chainsaw Man. While this is the reason that appears to be pushed the most, it ties us into our next potential cause that most fans seem to be agreeing with. MAPPA has had a lot of other big-name projects on their plate, and they simply bit off way more than they could chew. If you haven't heard already, MAPPA has been under fire recently after the horrible working conditions and poor wages the Jujutsu Kaisen staff were under for Season 2's production came into light. They've had a history of frequent turnover and overworking animators to the point of mental breakdowns, and even though they stated in 2021 that moving forward, they'd be improving things for workers, evidently it just hasn't been the case. Many Jujutsu Kaisen episodes weren't even finished at the time of their airing, with workers not leaving to go home for days because of the rigorous schedules. MAPPA has been working with a lot of IPs nowadays, to the point where I wonder if they'll crash and burn sooner than later. And for their newer stuff, they've cranked out so much of it in a matter of months, albeit quite unethically, which at least for me goes to show that if they really wanted to work on Ice Adolescence, they would've. They had plenty of time beforehand, after all, before they acquired all these new projects, but it seems that Yuri on Ice has been sitting at the bottom of the totem pole for quite some time. It's especially unfortunate when you consider the fact that Yuri on Ice put MAPPA on the map in the first place. It's the reason why it's been able to work on all these huge IPs in the first place, and now this is the thanks it gets? 7 years in limbo and a sputtering quiet end? And the last reason many fans suspect that Yuri on Ice was tabled is that it's gay. Yuri on Ice, at the time of airing, was considered groundbreaking for its depiction of a same-sex relationship in anime, but also tricky to label because it was categorized as a sports anime. And in terms of content, there's restrictions as to what's able to fly under certain genres, depending on the production, the studio, and the companies affiliated with it. The higher-ups want there to be as wide of a reach with the audience as possible because it means more money for them, especially given that Yuri on Ice is a sports anime, and unfortunately, LGBT content ends up making things difficult in that regard for distribution to audiences that skew more conservative, since it isn't deemed family-friendly. Good old homophobia. It's the main reason attributed to why the kiss in episode 7 was covered. Allegedly, Yuri on Ice's creators and staff were not allowed to discuss anything LGBT-related at conventions, panels, promotions, signings, etc. There's a rumor, and only a rumor, nothing confirmed, please keep that in mind, do not treat this as fact, that a stalemate ensued between MAPPA and the Yuri on Ice staff because the creative team did not want to budge on certain parts of the script and movie involving LGBT content, such as Victor's coming out story. It could have been that rather than releasing a potentially risky movie, MAPPA chose to stick to projects they knew would make money that wouldn't cause outrage over LGBT content. There's also talk that the studio has been really pushing for a shonen, male-centric audience with the projects they've been taking on over the past few years, and no longer wants to be associated with Yuri on Ice's predominantly female fans, which again served as the company's backbone in the first place. It just really sucks because we knew it had potential. We saw its crazy momentum. If they were able to clutch that and keep it propelling forward right up to the 2018 South Korea Winter Olympics, imagine what we could have gotten. The anime brought so much attention to men's figure skating as a sport. Figure skating in general. A lot of real-life skaters love the show. Like, if we had some cross-promotions going on, some cute merch and posters and the like, and then Ice Adolescence was built up to release after the Olympics, we could have had it all. But yeah. Even though Yuri on Ice may be dead in the water for the time being at least, as a piece of media, please don't forget all of the hard work, time, energy, and faith the creators and everyone who worked on it put into it. Like Yamamoto and Kubo especially, this was their baby, so cheers to them. Whatever the reason Ice Adolescence was cancelled, fans' responses go to show that this piece of media has meant a lot to people over the years. Who knows, perhaps another studio will be able to pick it up, or Kubo and Yamamoto will be able to make a manga out of it. Maybe we can sneak into MAPPA to leak the movie ourselves, because there are rumors that Ice Adolescence has been done since before the pandemic in 2020, and it's just sitting in the studio collecting dust. And again, the fandom is still alive and well, and after hearing this news, dare I say, a lot of creators are like, we're gonna make our own and feed ourselves. We've done it for 7 years and we can do it for 7 more. Please feel free to share any of your favorite or most memorable fandom moments in the comments, as well as any fic recs. I'd love to read them for myself. How are you feeling about all of this, besides, you know, nostalgic and if any more news comes out about Yuri on Ice, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. In the meantime, if you want to see any more fandom or fan culture-esque videos from me, then go ahead and subscribe if you want. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy fandom travels, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
안녕.
Oh god, look how bad that is. You're coming home with me.